What's going on, knuckleheads? It's George with Fighters Rep, and I wanted to come at you with this Danny Garcia versus Adrian Granados discussion reaction video. This was a fight I was really looking forward to. It was sort of eclipsed by the Amir Khan versus Terrence Crawford fight, and I made a video on this fight. That's why we're a couple days removed from this fight, and I'm only now beginning to talk about it, but it's definitely something I wanted to cover because these are two fighters in the welterweight division that I'm very interested in. Now, do I think either of these two guys is going to make a run for the top spot in the division? Not at this point, but I wanted to see where Danny Garcia was at and where Adrian Granados is at, or was at. I wanted to see if perhaps it was time for the passing of the torch from Garcia to Granados. And I was excited to see what would happen. I like Danny Garcia, but he's lost two of his last three fights before this fight. And I liked Adrian Granados, and I felt like he was given the short end of the stick in many fights in the past. So after watching this fight, well, actually, during watching this fight, the first thing that kind of came to mind was, wow, Danny Garcia just looks much stronger. He looked much stronger. He looked much more in shape. He didn't look physically gaunt or tired the way that Granados did. Granados had like no definition. His arms were skinny. His head was proportionally much larger than his body. And he just looked like a sickly and sort of weak fighter. You know, I'm used to Granados being like a dog in there and putting up a fight. But I just felt like he just looked sick in there. And Garcia just looked to be the much stronger man. And an interesting thing happened in this fight. While I was watching the fight, Marcos Villegas, the notorious founder of Fight Hub, not really notorious, he's a great guy, but Marcos Villegas was commenting on the fight and said that he felt Garcia was throwing a lot more volume, and that's one thing that I really noticed about this fight. But I think, if I'm being honest in hindsight, I think Garcia threw a lot more volume because he had nothing to worry about coming back. He was just so much stronger than Granados that I didn't look like he was worried at all about what was coming back from Granados. He was just walking him down. And then another thing I noticed was Granados, obviously having never been in this situation before, where a guy's just walking him back and wailing on him and taking his punches, his defensive flaws began to become exposed with a guy like Garcia who was able to walk him down. He dropped his hands repeatedly. There were many lapses in his defense when they would sort of separate, and he'd back off with his arms down, and he'd get caught with these hooks over and over again. I mean, I feel like almost everything he got caught with was a hook, and he got dropped a few times, and in the end, the referee had to come in and stop the fight at 1 minute and 33 seconds of round number 7. I think it was a totally reasonable stoppage. Granados has a lot of heart. He wanted to continue this fight, but he did not put up the sort of fight we've seen in the past. I wonder if this weight cut or some kind of injury or something happened to him, because he just didn't look like the same Adrian Granados. Certainly not the same one that was in there against Adrian Broner or anyone for that matter. I mean, he just looked very, very weak. So that's what I noticed. As far as Danny Garcia goes, I'm hoping that the increased volume is a new wrinkle to his game, but something tells me he was just able to do that because he had nothing coming back at him in the way of power shots, like he would have, for example, in his fight against Keith Thurman, or he would have if he were to fight a guy like Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, guys at the top of the division. So while I do hope it's a new wrinkle he's added to his game, I do think that power punching is going to negate any such wrinkle, and maybe he was able to do this because he just didn't have anything coming back. So, knuckleheads, that's my thought on this fight. I'd really appreciate if you guys like, comment, and share, and please subscribe below. If you help us get to 1,000 subscribers, we can help our own fighters. It is fight week for Fighters Rep 6. It's going down Saturday at Seal Beach. At the Ames Sportsplex. You can watch it live right here. Just subscribe. Subscribe and you can watch it live. And also, I know this is a couple days removed. Please like, comment, and share. Anybody who comments, or rather my favorite comment, I'm going to send you a shirt. So definitely comment. Tell me what you guys think about this fight. subscribe. I'm going to send my favorite comment to shirt. Take care, you guys. We'll talk soon.